Hello, and welcome to reading the Tinder Privacy Policy so that you don't have to. We chose Tinder for this month's privacy policy reading because a lot of people are probably going on there for February 14th, Valentine's Day. So we thought we'd make this special privacy policy episode so that you can know what you're getting yourself into, at least from a privacy standpoint. This segment is presented to you by Termageddon.com. We have generated tens of thousands of privacy policies and successfully kept them up to date with changing legislation. And in that process, we've also read quite a few privacy policies as well. I did want to note that anything that we talk about today should not be considered legal advice. If you are looking for legal advice, I would recommend contacting an attorney in your area. So why is it important to read the Tinder privacy policy? So really you should be reading the privacy policy of any service that you sign up for because the privacy policy affects your privacy and your rights. Specifically for Tinder, it's even more important to read the privacy policy because it collects a lot of very sensitive information like your sexual orientation or the messages that you send back and forth with other people or the photos or the videos that you send, which may contain a lot of private information. So you definitely want to make sure to read this privacy policy because you want to make sure that you're safe while you're using this tool. So first of all, what information does Tinder actually collect? So first, when you create your account, it will collect your phone number, your email address, your gender, your date of birth, and who you'd like to connect with. It can also collect your sexual orientation, your bio, your interests, your photos, and your videos as well. If you do purchase something from there, it will collect your payment information. If you participate in any surveys, focus groups, market studies, if you submit a testimonial, they'll collect all of that information as well. If you register for a promotion, an event, or a contest, they'll collect your registration details. If you upload your contact list, it could include the contact details of other people, as well as your contact details when you contact their customer support. If you do chat with someone or publish any content there, that will be collected as well. If you do decide to log in using Facebook or create an account using a social media account or share data between those things, it will collect information from your social media account. It will collect information about how you use Tinder. So for example, who you swiped on or who you liked, how long you were staying on the app, what links you clicked, things like that. Information about your device, so your device's operating system or the version of that system, your IP address, things like that. It will also collect information from cookies and other tracking technologies. This is mainly to account for advertising and how you interact with advertisements. It can also collect your precise geolocation data if you do decide to allow that. Now, if you do use certain features, they can use photo verification data or ID and photo verification data. Now, what this means is that Tinder can actually obtain your face geometry from that, which is biometrics. So this is a little bit concerning. If you do decide to use these types of features, make sure to be very, very careful about that, or maybe consider not using these features at all because your face geometry cannot be changed. I guess technically it could be changed if you were to get extreme plastic surgery or something like that, but you should know that your face geometry can be used for a lot of things like signing into your phone or signing into your bank account. And if this data is breached, it's data that cannot be very easily changed. So that can definitely cause a lot of privacy concerns. It can also collect your racial or ethnic origin, your religious or philosophical beliefs, which can be sensitive information. And then if you do apply for a job at Tinder, they could also collect your social security number, your driver's license, state ID, or passport number. This came out a couple years back, which I thought was pretty interesting, was that to exercise privacy rights, Tinder was asking people to upload their passport, driver's license, or state ID. A lot of data protection authorities thought that this was excessive and unnecessary to exercise certain privacy rights. So I'm not sure if they have continued doing this since that case or have stopped doing that, but that's something to be aware of as well. Tinder also uses your information to administer your account and provide their services, like create your account, manage it, provide customer support. They also use it to personalize pricing and discounts and offer you different sweepstakes or contests as well. They also use it to help you connect with other individuals, like recommend others to you, show their profiles, allow you to search for people, and allow you to connect to people. To provide any new services that they're considering launching, and to provide offers and operate advertising and marketing campaigns. So they do run ads and they do run marketing campaigns, and your personal information will be used for that. They'll also use it to improve services and develop new services, prevent, detect, and fight fraud and other illegal activities, and then also to ensure legal compliance. Now, because Tinder collects so much sensitive data like sexual orientation, you do want to make sure that that data is protected, especially in areas where that information could potentially cause legal issues, right? So Tinder does share information with law enforcement. So that's something to be aware of if you are in an area where that could become a legal issue for you. So Tinder does share your information. So your information may be shared with other members. Their service providers and partners. So like their hosting provider, maintenance, analytics, customer care, advertising, marketing, payment processing, and security operations. I think it's interesting that they have listed so many third-party service providers. I would think that a company of that size would be able to provide like customer service by themselves and not necessarily farm it out to a third party, but you should be aware that your information may be shared with them. Any companies that are affiliated with them through their parent company, which is called Match Group. Your data can also be shared in case of a merger or in case Tinder were to be acquired by another company. Law enforcement, which we just discussed, and then also they may share your information with your consent and at your request as well. Not exactly sure what this means, but I guess it is possible to share it when you would like for it to be shared. Now, does Tinder sell your personal information? So Tinder's privacy policy says that they do not sell personal information. This is specifically on the California privacy policy that they provide. I do wish that they would provide all of this information just in one privacy policy instead of having to review two of them. But, here we are. Now, what privacy rights does Tinder provide? So they allow you to access the information that they've collected about you and to change it. So for example, like you could change your email. You can also change your device permissions, basically to allow for notifications to appear or not appear, or allow them to track your geolocation, things like that. You can also uninstall the application on your phone, meaning that your data could be deleted if that was the case. You have the right to close an account. You can access the data that they collect about you. You can ask them to delete your data. And then you have the right to object to or restrict the way that they process the data. Now, they say that some rights may be exercised directly through your account. I don't have a Tinder account, but apparently that can be done. The privacy policy also says that other rights may be exercised through submitting a request. So the privacy policy was a little bit confusing in the sense that it said, based on where you were located, you may have the following privacy rights, but it doesn't really say of who in what location gets which right, which I thought was confusing. And it also included a link to submit a request. So I clicked on the link. It did not require me to have an account to click on it. And the request form does have an option for privacy selections, but it did not have the option to ask them to delete the data. So I'm not quite sure how exactly you would exercise the right to request the deletion of data since it's not available through that form. I did click around quite a bit, but it does appear that you would need to contact them directly, possibly, to request the deletion of data. But this is very confusing and difficult because they do say, click on this form to exercise these rights, but then this particular right was not available on the form, and it also didn't say who can exercise which rights or who gets what rights. So that's the Tinder privacy policy. Make sure to keep these things in mind if you do decide to use Tinder on Valentine's Day.